An oncologist once admitted that 90% of my patients had no idea that a process had already begun in their body that would kill them. They lived as usual, ate as usual, slept peacefully, until one day they heard a diagnosis that changed everything. And even then they realized it was too late. That thought alone is chilling, isn't it? But here's the good news, you're not too late, not even close. If you're watching this and you're over 65, you still have the power to add years to your life. Good years, active years, joyful years. You just need to know how. See, after 65, your body starts to whisper things it used to shout. You don't bounce back from a poor night's sleep the way you used to. A missed meal affects your energy more. A small fall can become a big deal. But here's the truth that most people don't realize. Simple habits, really simple ones, can become your secret weapon. They don't cost much, they don't require fancy equipment or complicated routines, but they can make the difference between just surviving and truly living. In this video, I want to share 6 daily habits that not only improve your energy, strength, and mental sharpness, but can literally add years to your life. These aren't abstract ideas. They're practical, doable steps you can start today. And once you make them part of your routine, they'll feel just as natural as your morning coffee. Let's start with one that might surprise you. The first habit is walking. Yes, walking. Not power walking, not marathon walking. Just steady, intentional walking every day, the kind where you're not rushing, but you're also not shuffling from the kitchen to the couch. Research from Harvard found that older adults who walk just 30 minutes a day reduce their risk of death from all causes by nearly 20%. That's no small number. And it's not just about living longer, it's about how you live those extra years. Walking improves your circulation, keeps your joints moving, helps regulate your blood sugar, and boosts your mood. And it doesn't require a gym membership or any special gear, just a pair of comfortable shoes and the willingness to step outside or even walk laps around your home if it's raining. Some people start by walking to the mailbox and back twice a day, that's it. Others take short walks after each meal, which has the added bonus of helping digestion and blood sugar control. You don't have to hit 10,000 steps, just move. Every single day. If you make walking a non-negotiable part of your daily routine, you'll start to notice the difference within a week. You'll sleep better, breathe easier, and maybe even look forward to it. That sense of movement, it does something to your spirit. Now let's talk about the second habit. This one is so easy to overlook and yet so powerful when done right: staying hydrated. At this age, our sense of thirst becomes less reliable. You might think, I'm not thirsty, so I must be fine. But by the time you feel thirst, you're already dehydrated. Dehydration in older adults doesn't just mean dry mouth. It affects your memory, your mood, your digestion, even your balance. In fact, a lot of those dizzy spells or that off feeling you might get in the afternoon, that's your body quietly begging for water. And no, coffee and tea don't count the same way. In fact, they can sometimes dehydrate you more. What you want is plain water. If you find water too boring, try infusing it with lemon slices, cucumber, or even a sprig of mint. It sounds fancy, but it takes 5 seconds, and it can make a huge difference in whether you want to drink more. Try this. Keep a water bottle where you spend the most time, next to your recliner on the kitchen table by the TV remote. Make it easy for yourself, 1 sip at a time. Aim for 6 to 8 glasses a day unless your doctor tells you otherwise. You'll start to notice fewer headaches, better focus, and even smoother skin. It's not magic, it's just water, but it's life-saving. Now, once you've added walking and hydration to your day, you've already created a strong foundation. But there's one more habit I want to talk about today, something people often dismiss as fluff, but it's one of the most powerful tools for longevity: gratitude. You might not expect to hear that word in a conversation about physical health, but studies have shown that people who actively practice gratitude, who take just a minute or two each day to reflect on what they're thankful for, have lower blood pressure, better sleep, and even reduced inflammation. That's not just about feeling better emotionally. That's your body responding. It can be as simple as this. Every morning before you get out of bed, think of 3 things you're grateful for. Maybe it's your grandchildren. Maybe it's that the sun is shining. Maybe it's the fact that you can still breathe deep, laugh hard, and enjoy a good meal. Or write them down in a little notebook, something just for you. The important part isn't how you do it. It's that you do it. You've lived long enough to know that life throws curveballs. By choosing to focus, even briefly, on what's still good, still beautiful, still worth waking up for, you train your brain to fight stress, to release healing hormones, to support your heart and immune system in ways you never imagined. So now that we've talked about the power of daily walking, the importance of hydration, and the surprising science of gratitude, let's keep going. Because there are still a few more habits that could change everything. It's amazing, isn't it? How something as simple as walking or drinking water can quietly transform the way your body feels and functions. And when you layer in that daily moment of gratitude, it's like you're nurturing not just your body but your spirit too. That combination is powerful. But we're just getting started. There's another daily habit that's just as critical, and it's one that often gets pushed aside after retirement: keeping your brain active. Now I'm not talking about solving calculus problems or learning Mandarin, unless you want to, of course. What I mean is regularly challenging your mind in ways that feel stimulating, even fun. Because the brain, much like your muscles, needs exercise, and after 65, this becomes more important than ever. The brain starts to shrink with age. It's a natural process. But that doesn't mean we can't slow it down. In fact, studies show that older adults who engage in regular mental activities like reading, puzzles, learning new skills, or playing memory games have a significantly lower risk of dementia. It's not about being a genius, it's about keeping the mental gears turning. One woman I know in her 70s started learning how to play the piano, just 10 minutes a day, following YouTube tutorials on her tablet. She didn't plan to perform or impress anyone. She just wanted to challenge herself. And you know what? 6 months later, she felt sharper, more focused, and even noticed that she was recalling names and appointments more easily. Her brain had come alive again. It doesn't have to be piano. Maybe for you, it's trying crosswords in the morning paper, or learning how to use a new phone app, or even watching a documentary that teaches you something new. Anything that nudges your mind out of autopilot is a win. And here's something else that helps, not just with memory, but with mood, sleep, and even your immune system. It's something we all crave but don't always prioritize. I'm talking about connection, real human connection. As we get older, it's easy to become isolated. Friends move away, family gets busy, and little by little, the days get quieter. But loneliness isn't just a feeling. It's actually harmful to your health. It raises stress hormones, weakens the immune system, and increases the risk of heart disease and cognitive decline. The good news: even small daily interactions can work wonders. A phone call with a friend, a chat with a neighbor, a cup of tea with someone you haven't seen in a while. You don't need a packed social calendar. You just need meaningful moments of connection. 1. Man I spoke with started volunteering at a local garden center once a week. He said it gave him a reason to get up, a place to go, and a way to talk to people without pressure. It brought him back to life. Another woman joined a walking group for seniors, not because she needed help walking, but because she loved the conversations. If getting out isn't easy for you, try setting a routine, maybe calling one person a day, even just for 5 minutes, or joining an online group around something you enjoy, like books, crafts, or old movies. Human beings aren't meant to be islands. We thrive when we feel seen, heard, and connected. And speaking of thriving, there's a habit that ties everything together, one that fuels your energy, helps your memory, supports your bones and muscles, and even boosts your mood. You might not want to hear it, but here it is. You need to move your body with purpose. Not just walking, but stretching, strengthening, and using your muscles in ways that keep them active. Here's the truth. Most people don't tell you. After 65, you can lose up to 1% of your muscle mass every single year. That's part of what causes frailty later in life, but you don't have to accept it. You can fight back, and you don't need a gym or fancy equipment to do it. Simple movements done consistently, like standing up from a chair without using Your hands doing gentle leg lifts while brushing your teeth, or even lifting light weights like soup cans, while watching TV, can protect your strength. Stretching is just as important. Your muscles tighten over time, and that stiffness leads to poor posture, aches, and increased risk of falls. Even 5 minutes of gentle stretching each morning can change how your entire day feels. Your body wakes up, your blood flows, and you move with more confidence. If you've ever watched a cat stretch after a nap, you'll know exactly what I mean. That's the kind of ease and grace we want to keep in our bodies for as long as possible. And it doesn't take an hour a day, just a few intentional minutes. Here's a tip. Tie it to something you already do. Stretch while the coffee brews. Do leg lifts during TV commercials. Practice standing balance while brushing your teeth. When these little movements become routine, they no longer feel like exercise, they just feel like part of life. You don't need to run marathons or lift heavy weights. You just need to move, purposefully, regularly, joyfully. The beautiful part of all this is that you're not trying to become someone new, you're simply reclaiming the healthiest, happiest version of yourself. The one that still wants to explore, laugh, learn, and live fully. The one who knows it's never too late to start something new, and that age is not a barrier, it's a badge of wisdom. So far, we've explored the power of mental activity, meaningful connection, and intentional movement. And there's still one more habit that ties everything together in the most beautiful way: restorative sleep. Now, I know sleep isn't always easy. Maybe you wake up at 3 a.m. for no reason, or you fall asleep just fine, but then your mind starts racing in the early hours. That's not unusual after 65. Our sleep cycles change with age. Our bodies produce less melatonin. We spend less time in deep sleep, and little things can wake us more easily. But here's what's important. Just because sleep gets trickier doesn't mean we can ignore it. In fact, quality sleep is one of the most powerful ways to heal, recharge, and extend your life. It helps your brain clear out toxins, strengthens your immune system, balances your blood sugar, and protects your heart. A study published in Nature Aging found that older adults who consistently get 7 to 8 hours of quality sleep have a significantly lower risk of cognitive decline and even premature death. So how do we make better sleep a daily habit, especially when it feels out of reach? Start by treating your bedtime like a sacred ritual. Wind down the same way every evening. Maybe it's turning off the TV half an hour earlier than usual. Maybe it's taking a warm bath or listening to calming music. Create a cue for your body that says, "We're done for the day." And here's something you might not expect. Your daytime habits affect your nighttime sleep more than you realize. Morning sunlight, for example, helps reset your internal clock. So try stepping outside first thing, even if just for a few minutes on the porch. Moving during the day, staying hydrated, and limiting caffeine after 2 p.m. Those things all make a big difference. If your mind tends to race at bedtime, keep a notepad by the bed. Jot down any thoughts, worries, or to-dos. Give your brain permission to let them go. And don't be afraid to experiment. Lavender oil, white noise, or even a light stretching routine can sometimes work wonders. You deserve to rest deeply and wake up refreshed. Sleep isn't just rest, it's restoration. It's your body's way of repairing everything that needs healing. And when you start combining all these habits, walking, hydration, gratitude, mental stimulation, connection, movement, and sleep, you begin to feel something shift. Life gets lighter. Energy returns. Things that used to feel like a chore, getting up from a chair, remembering a name, smiling without effort, they start to come more naturally. But let me tell you something that's even more important than any single habit: belief. The belief that it's not too late, that you still have the power to influence your future, that your best years can still hold joy, growth, laughter, and love. Because here's what happens as we get older. People start talking about us like we're done, like life is something that's already behind us. But you and I know better. If you're still breathing, you're still becoming. Every new morning is a gift, and how you choose to live it, that's your legacy in action. I once met a man in his 80s who decided to start painting again after his wife passed. He hadn't picked up a brush in 40 years, but something inside him said, why not? He started small, watercolors at the kitchen table. A year later, his grandkids had his artwork hanging in their bedrooms. He told me, "I thought I was just passing time. Turns out I was living again." That's the spirit I want for you. These habits aren't rules or restrictions, they're invitations. Invitations to step into a fuller, richer, more vibrant version of your life. And the beautiful part: you don't have to do everything at once, start with one. Take a walk today, drink a glass of water right now, call someone you've been meaning to talk to, just pick one small thing, then do it again tomorrow. And again. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to keep going. Remember, the goal isn't to chase youth, it's to protect and nurture the you that exists right now, to wake up each morning and feel good in your body, to go to bed each night knowing you've done something kind for yourself, because aging well isn't about avoiding wrinkles or pretending nothing's changed. It's about staying curious, staying connected, staying alive in the truest sense of the word. So if no one's told you lately, let me say this: you are not too old. You are not behind. You haven't missed your chance. In fact, you might be standing at the beginning of your best chapter yet. Make it count. Choose habits that support your body, your heart, and your mind. Surround yourself with joy, and let go of things that weigh you down. It's okay to take your time. It's okay to rest. Just don't give up. Don't stop growing. If any of this resonated with you, I'd love to hear about it in the comments. Tell me, what's one small habit you're going to start today? What part of your life do you want to feel stronger, lighter, or more joyful? And if you found this video helpful, please give it a like and consider subscribing for more videos like this one, designed just for you, to inspire and support you through this amazing stage of life. Because here's to living, not just existing. Here's to more mornings, more laughter, more movement, more peace. Here's to you living your best life at any age. You're not done. You're just getting started.